Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I'm Robin and Jack with Z, and we are playing more Silent Hill 2. Last time we actually beat the game for the first time of seven, technically six, but seven. Um, and we made it all the way to the hospital with our good friend who is totally not our wife, Maria. So hi, how's everybody doing? Hey, AJ, Lindsay, Aleph, and Kat, good to see y'all. I figure why not? Let's just go ahead and start steamrolling this game as best we can. Um, so hi. Not much has changed since last time, but uh, I guess I could start off with uh some fun bit of news, and I want to preface this by saying it's not as bad as it sounds, but we got COVID. We finally got it. We got our tickets, and we lucked out because A, we were already vaccinated, not boosted, but hey, um, we actually like got off fairly light. A lot of flu symptoms, stuff like that. So, like, vaccinations are good. Vaccinations are very good. Um, so if you don't at least have the most basic vaccination, go get touched up because I will tell you all the horror stories that I've heard about getting the stuff. Uh, not really that relevant when you have at least the basic vaccinations in you. So I've got a cough, and we're isolated for a few days since. Oh, hold on, let me shoot this. Okay, now as I was saying, um, we took care of ourselves as best we could, and like getting the prognosis, which was literally in and out, um, was pretty infuriating. I will admit, like it was one of those like well, I guess we got it, but also like god damn it, we were careful and etc. But as upsetting as it was initially, um, honestly, it is what it is. Like, it happens and it's fine. It stinks and it's fine. Um, let's see. I wanna check the men's locker room. Hey, Judge. So yeah, like it's it's technically a big deal. It ended up not being. Um, which is great. I love that. Here we go. Yeah, so we're just isolating for the rest of the week. And I've still got the cough, which stinks, but screw it. Uh, okay, we are already kind of hitting the ground running because we just need to start heading in here. Oh wait, I know what I saw. I saw bullets. Yeah, I'm still a little bit congested. I'm still like coughing up stuff and occasionally some mucus is just deciding that it doesn't want to be inside me anymore. And it's going to get out any way it can. And you know what? That's fair. I want it gone. Okay. So I need to write this down. These codes are often randomized. Not every puzzle in the game is randomized, but a lot of the number codes are. James's American sense was tingling. He sensed the bullets in the room. I mean, he kind of does. He's got a head for it. Quite literally. He quite literally will look directly at the bullets if they are anywhere in his sight. Because he is a perfectly well-adjusted dude. Okay, we got the lapis key, and the shotgun shells, so that's great. We're gonna bump into Maria a couple times. Um, this might seem silly, but for the ending that we're after, we need to bump into her. We need to examine the knife. We need to examine the photo at least twice. Why? Don't worry about it. It's all fine. Gotta show Maria who's wearing the pants here. Because clearly, I mean, look, James will never allow himself to understand if he has the figure for that skirt. He's just not going to let himself. And I think that's really what we're dealing with at the end of the day. Um, is a man suppressed by his own desire, caused by... Oh, hello, Felix. Oh, we're so happy. We're just rolling around with our new friend, talking about... God. I was sitting here like, oh, new person in here. Maybe I shouldn't bring up the circumcision stuff from Silent Hill, the Silent Hill wiki. That would be bad, right? Sorry, now that I know that that exists, now that I know that that story happened, I cannot stop thinking about it anytime I play. So, hi! Okay. Now we need to get to the patient wing once again. Okay, so 7, 6, 5. I mean, I gotta bring it up. Okay, I might be accidentally hitting these numbers wrong. Ugh. Huh. Well, I know that there are some prescribed codes. Is this one of them? I guess it is. Okay. What was that code I had? Because that's the same code as a normal playthrough. I want to keep talking about it until I run into someone who looks me dead in the eye and says, I was a mod at the wiki when that happened. Oh my god. Hi, Bob. And hi, B. Yeah, we'll be doing our best to get well soon. Don't you worry about that. So now we're heading to S3. And again, I'm going to try my best to get through this as quickly as possible. Because I want to say, if we're really good, we can get through this game one more time today, which would be really cool. Okay, so we've got the roof key, and we need to head over to the elevator. First, get rid of this lady. I know she's just doing her job, but... Oh, is that not it? Huh. Okay, in which case we probably just have to go through the old-fashioned way. Oh yeah, voting is in 2 days, so hey, everybody vote. If you don't like voting, just remember that there are a lot of people who really like voting and who are real shits about it. And believe nasty things. So please, if nothing else, vote out of spite. Okay. Yeah, there are people who really like voting and really hate you. That's kind of where I'm at. And as much as I don't want to be like, oh, we actually do need to read this, which is a diary, very likely by Mary, talking about her suicidal ideation. Also, here's Pyramid Head. Yeah, like, as much of a political agenda as I have, and as much as I would like for people to vote a certain way, honestly, if more people vote just to cancel out the vote of somebody who they don't like, we'll probably be pretty good. If we all voted for spite, I think we would all be in a better place. Okay, then we gotta look at the wall. Eight, 4, 8, 4? Let's try that. Let's see. And now we need to, I think, head to the patient wing, and we need to head pretty much all the way to the end. And I think we can do that just by making a mad dash. Now I'm actually low on health, and this is good. We want to be low on health. Why? Don't worry about it. Stop asking questions. Anyway, we'll take a right. We'll have our gun ready. Oh, we dropped her in 2 shots. From my heart and from my hand, I ask people to vote in this election. Anyway, okay, so we've got 2 different key codes. I think... Right, this one might be this. Yes, okay. Nope, wrong way. 8. Oh, wait, that's upside down. Why did I do that? There we go. It's the Silent Hill ballot box. Gee, I wonder who would be trying to keep us out of this. It's fine. Thankfully in Oregon we have, not, I mean, we have mail-in voting, but we also have, drop-off ballots, so we don't necessarily have lines. So that's great, and I love that system. All right, and now we have a piece of hair. So those codes are, or those, what am I trying to say? I have no idea. Okay, we can't combine those yet. We cannot pre-combine. Oh, hi, there's a node. Forever. It's my destiny. For the 6th term in a row, the mayor of Silent Hill is a piece of hair. It's a lot better than the last guy who started a cult. Okay. Now, I think we need to head to the shower room, where we can actually make use of those items. And fun fact, we are actually almost done with the hospital. There's still some stuff that we're going to have to do afterwards, but we are most of the way through the regular hospital, and we are going to be able to go to the Nightmare Hospital. Mayor? I hardly know her. No, the blood color options are a lot of fun, but I tend to not use them. Actually, okay, That's a thing that was normalized for so long, and I'm actually kind of surprised it still exists at times. Like, it doesn't happen often, but it's blood color was such an interesting little tweak that one could make in old horror games. And it's still occasionally used, like I think Mortal Kombat. You're welcome, AJ. I did it for you. Um, okay, so I think we need to now go into one of the C rooms. I think it's C2. Let's try it. C3. Don't worry about that breathing sound. That is perfectly normal. And then we see Laura, who is going to be so great to us. She is just going to lead us straight to where we need to go, to a wonderful situation that totally doesn't have anything go. Oh, okay. So, welcome to Flesh Lips. I hate that these guys are called Flesh Lips. Because look at these guys. They're terrifying. And we've seen. So, the end of our first playthrough, where we fought Mary proper, she was in a similar cage, which is a hell of a thing. Whoop. Nope, she's doing that. Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it. Anyway, here's a third one. And we're just gonna... There we go. Typing is slow with the projector remote, you may be surprised to hear. Listen, the fact that you are committed to a projector remote, AJ, that you and B are, like, typing that way, my heart swells with appreciation. Foot jobbers didn't make it past the first design meeting. Too many people were in defeat. Listen. It's true. You're right, and unfortunately, you should say it. Hey, any other artists in here? Tell me if you also have this problem, because I feel like it's relatable, where it doesn't have to necessarily do with feet, but it almost always has to do with feet specifically, where you sit there and you go, did I render these feet too well that a foot fetishist will end up liking it? Because I have that problem all the time. And I gotta tell you, it's a bad way to go. Because, like, A, you didn't. If you have to ask, you didn't. B, foot fetishists will pay good money. Don't deny them. Go ahead. Add that little extra detail. Because that's just more audience. But I also... It's less about the render quality and more about the framing. You're correct sometimes. You're also incorrect because if you've actually seen the way feet can be rendered, you will change your mind. And I say this without judgment. If you're a foot fetishist and like you enjoy like foot fetish art and so forth, I salute you, sincerely. I'm not personally into it, and I want you to have the whole world. And also, I'm sorry that I can't follow you there. Let's see. Piece of paper on the bed. Okay, so we're not worried about that. Holy cow, So, I am currently in a state of disrepair. If you are Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, visible soul ridges. It's especially... And like, again, I'm saying all this without judgment. Just also saying sometimes it's a bit jarring when you happen upon something that's like, wow, this is really well rendered. And also, it's a little too well rendered. And also, that's a Sonic character. And that's a lot of ridges. That's a lot of folds and wrinkles. And that's really impressive. And I wish I could render anything with that level of detail. And also, I am not used to seeing a cartoon character with that much detail. Also, that's Yuri Street Fighter. Yeah. No, if you're not drawing all the ridges on Juri's feet in Street Fighter, you're not actually drawing Juri. Like, it's... Sorry. Okay. Now, I need to get over to the employee wing, which is over here. And we need to, I think, get into the stairwell and go all the way down. Oh, don't attract the Wonder Bread guy. And don't make me explain the Wonder Bread guy. Because if I have to explain the Wonder Bread guy, somebody else is going to tell me something about the Wonder Bread guy that I did not need to know. Because every time the Wonder Bread guy comes up in conversation, it's never a good time. There's always somebody new who's just like, who's the Wonder Bread guy? And we all have to be there like, do you have time for eugenics? And everybody's just going to be like, either, here we go, oh god, or, what? She just belongs to the feet, guys. Like, we have to just let him have her as a sacrifice. We were never going to not have her as for the feet people. You know, I actually kind of wish I could delete that message. Wonder Bread. Anyway, so oh, I am so sorry. It's just the more I learned about it, the more traumatizing Wonder Bread guy as a phrase became. Because I don't think I've ever actually plumbed the full depths, and I don't want to.
Mary?
Hi, Mary. Anyway. Alright, so we're going down the ladder, and we're only going to be here for a second. We are going to pick the copper ring up, and I think that's all we're doing down here. And we are going to head right back up the stairs. We're not only heading back up the stairs, we are heading all the way up to the 3rd floor, and then to the elevator in the patient wing, which is a trek. One of the reasons why I really like this game is because of how much bullshit it makes you do. There we go. Hi, Maria. And whoosh. Nope. Just not gonna fight you. Yelling smoke bomb at him, throwing a stack of pictures of feet in the air before scurrying away. Oh god. Let's see. I think we just go down to the 2nd floor. We have to head to the day room. Normally there is a quiz show. We already know the answers, and we're going to just skip right past it. Oh, hi! Boop. And there's still a dead nurse from when we were here last. So that's great. Right, so we're going to the day room. And Maria, sorry, not Mary. That's definitely not Mary. There's no way that's Mary. She even says she's not Mary. She may look exactly like her, but she's not Mary.
Maria,
She's going to help us with that, and we're going to get the lead ring to accompany the copper ring. And we are going to go all the way back to the elevator and back up to the 3rd floor. Silent Hill 2 has a lot less real estate that you need to go through, but a lot more real estate to actually fuss around in. So, it can be kind of rough sometimes. So, if we want a whole bunch of extra ammo and health, we can go to the storeroom over there. And guess what? We want that. Bye, Maria. Don't wait up. God, so... I'm very stream of consciousness when I do these streams. And I'm already realizing that I have gone into foot fetish and Wonder Bread guy, and we're about to do a whole bunch of discussion on suicide by the time we get to the end of this. So that's all fun. Oh, hot damn. And I'm just kind of very aware of how silly it is to be streaming like this. Let's see. Now we need to head on back to the patient wing. The funniest part is reaching a point where you have to stop and mentally retrace your steps to figure out how you ended up talking about the Wonder Bread guy. Yeah, that's always been my problem. I have there are countless conversations I have with my closest friends where we will wind up when we were out last week, I somehow wound up on this whole thing about she came down in a bubble dog, and realizing that for as often as I heard it, I did not understand a word of what this guy was trying to communicate. Like, I hit that point where that video was so ingrained into my memory. For those of you who don't know, there is a great video of a guy claiming that I believe the Wicked Witch of the West was actually a princess. And he was using the logic that her sister was a princess because she wore a crown. And I had a hard time just sitting there going like, what's the logic here? What are you actually arguing? What's your argumentative logic? And it took me so long during that conversation to realize I had no idea how I even got on that subject in the first place. And so I feel like streaming is kind of just that. Constantly going, well, what's the next subject? What else can we do? What else can we say? Oh, anyway, we're running from Pyramid Head now. And Maria is going to take those hits. There are answers in the hashtag canon. Well, he's talking about the movie, which is a separate canon. Open up! Feet fetish stuff is like the weather. You just have to comment on it to be polite. Get it out of the way, you know? Yeah. It's small talk. Like, you gotta talk about it. So, Maria is definitely dead. And it's all our fault. And now, we get to go to the director's room. We're feeling very sad because we keep losing all the people in our life. I still love this line. He who is not bold enough to be stared at from across the abyss is not bold enough to stare into it himself. All right, so we got to go to Gonzalez's Mexican restaurant and head next door. Unfortunately, we will not be getting any Mexican takeout because, unfortunately, no one at that Mexican restaurant is carrying the burden of guilt of murdering someone, and so there's nobody who's going to stick around and actually serve us, which is kind of a bummer, but also I can't exactly assume that anyone in Silent Hill. Where is Silent Hill? Indiana? Like Maine? Like there are a couple of points of contention. Like I've heard it being in Pennsylvania or Rhode Island, and there's not really like a specific answer. But it's not from a state where I would assume that there is good Mexican food. Right? Would that be fair to say? If there is something that we can state about the canon of Silent Hill, it's that the Mexican food probably isn't that good. And I say this as a Texan, where Mexican food, and I don't just mean Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is its own thing. I mean legitimately decent Central American food. No negative health inspections, not even negative Yelp reviews. Great for non-otherworld people, not great for Jimmy here. I just feel like, you know. Hey Chris, good to see you. So I am hauling ass across town to the Mexican restaurant. Yeah. Um, it's wherever it needs to be. Technically, it has a location, but not really. Hi, Ike. Good to feel your presence. Those are our local buddies, our neighbors. So if y'all are mean to them, I will be quite irate. As long as we all understand that, that's great. I love these guys. I actually really enjoy them. Like you don't actually end up fighting them on like middle or lower difficulties. I don't actually know if you end up fighting them at all. They just hang around and like kind of hit your feet. And that's it. That's very silly. Oh, right. We can also pick up a new item over here because it's a new game plus. Oh, come on. Give me that first aid. Give it. Give it. Thank you. It's one of a number of items you can get only in a new game plus, and this particular item only. I'll wait at Bar Neely's. Interesting. That's not what I wanted. Turn around. Get back in there. Get in the camper. Thank you, James. Looks like we don't actually have access to it, maybe? Aw. So, normally on a New Game Plus, we get access to a thing called the Hyper Spray. Um, and it is a spray that changes depending on your rating as you beat the game, which is kind of wild to think about. It changes color similar to the way the Hyper Blaster from Silent Hill 1 changes color. Um, again, based on your rating, and it will actually change the quality and the nastiness of your attack. Yeah, it's a harming spray. It's great. Okay, so that note told us about Neely's bar, or Bar Neely's. So let's go check that out. Because I don't actually know what we're going to find there. Also, did I say hi, Mom? I don't think I did. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. It turns into a can of Axe. You're not actually wrong. So, fun fact, the hyper spray basically turns into something that can fell bosses in a single strike, which is buck wild. If you really want to see Mary, you should just die. But you might be heading to a different place than Mary, James. Wow, that's great. There was a hole here. It's gone now. An iconic line, and you know what? I think we can just... Yeah, there we go. Just change that little bar off to the side. Don't even worry about it. Anyway, here we go. There was a hole here. It was made for you, but it's gone now. So, now it's in my pocket. Silent Hill is a really fun series to replay. Largely because they're very short games, and they made this alongside Metal Gear Solid made me really appreciate sub 10-hour games. I've got a couple of games coming in that I'm really excited to play, like the new God of War, which looks fantastic, and Sonic Frontiers, which I'm actually more excited about than anything else. But I'm really glad to be playing something like Silent Hill 2, which I think if I keep this up, we can... Ow! Rude! We can absolutely beat it in like 2 or 3 hours, which is really cool. Like, and that's something that I just really enjoy about these sorts of games, because like I can just sit and play it and go nuts, and it's fun, and like you get rewards based on how well you do, but it's never so hard once you understand the critical path that it makes replaying it a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. And it actually points me to an interesting problem I have with a lot of games that try to jam-pack itself with content. I don't often finish 40, 50, 60-hour games. There's only a handful that I will finish consistently. But a really good game that lasts me like 5 or 6 hours, I get really excited about just replaying it over and over. And I end up playing those games a hell of a lot more than I end up playing the big damn live service games that are jam full of content. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the bottom of a sea. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole, and it's made for me. Oh, that's just a guy. I'm going to write everything that I've learned so far. Maybe that'll help you out somehow. If you're reading this, it probably means I'm already dead. Well, that's everything you learned. Cool. Great job. It's a zombie from Resident Evil who got lost. Honestly, It actually is kind of funny. You don't see too many dead bodies throughout the game. Um, you see a lot of dead monsters. And we have seen, like, people who have died who look eerily familiar. Like, the body we found in, I want to say, the first set of apartments is meant to look a lot like James. The door that wakes in darkness, opening into nightmares. Hell yeah! This is the way. I bet you that single corpse and file has a 24-paragraph article in the wiki, and it's probably about circumcision. Let's see. Sorry, I am not going to let that go. That is in my brain. It is a brain worm that is going to stay there forever. One of my main criteria for getting a game is, does it end? Yeah. So, I was kind of excited for Genshin Impact when it first came out, and I started playing it because it was a game that felt enough like Breath of the Wild and was its own new, unique thing that I felt legitimately like, oh, maybe they actually designed it to be beaten. And then I had the audacity to keep playing it, and it had the audacity to keep going. That game is long. It probably has an end, but I'm not going to see it. Because, oh my god, they don't really want you to get to the end. And so I quit. And I'm somebody who has beaten Breath of the Wild. I haven't gotten all the DLC stuff, but I have, like, you know, played through it. I had a lot of fun. I got to the credits. And I was actually kind of thankful that that game wasn't more filled with stuff because, oh my god, I never would have beaten it. That one guy who really wants to be the major character in a survival horror game only to realize he's a narrative storytelling NPC. You either live long enough to suffer the weight of your own guilt in a murder you definitely committed, or you die an environmental storyteller. Alright, so we've got everything we need to move on to the Silent Hill Historical Society. Which means we are now at the tail end of the game. Not quite, but very close to it. Let's see. So we're gonna bob and weave, and we are going to pick up all of this garbage. Itchy. Tasty. God. So, I do actually want to end up playing Resident Evil, and I gotta figure out which versions we're going to be playing, because I have access to many choices, because I keep being given copies of the Resident Evil remake. Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Sorry, that was a cough that really wanted out. Right then, right there. So I have access to, like, the remake in several different versions, and I have access to both the original and director's cut of the PSX version. And I gotta be honest, I'm tempted. Because I've never beaten the PlayStation originals, and I only beat the remake within the past few years as a sort of dare to myself. And as weird as the middle era of Resident Evil gets, it seems like it would be a lot of fun to showcase. Because, oh man, there are a lot of side games too, like Resident Evil Gun Survivor, the Revelations games, I think... Oh gosh, where is this place? Oh, we're still going, okay. I was about to get real irate. I am very impatient. This road takes forever to scale. Oh, hey. Once again, our health is kind of low, and we want to keep it there. Because we need James to suffer. As we get near the end of this game, we are going to let ourselves take a couple of hits, stay away from healing too much. Okay, so I hate this place because I always get turned around, and we're going to do our best. I definitely need James to suffer. And listen, he is going to do it. Whether we want him to or not, he is going to suffer. It's actually going to get pretty fun. Somewhere down the line, ooh, Obsidian Gauntlet. So that is an item that we can start getting. It's part of a collection of items. We pick that up. It's going to have absolutely no use in this playthrough. I mention it because we're going to also be picking up some other stuff on our 4th playthrough, maybe 5th if we decide to do the Born from a Wish scenario before it. But my mental task list is to do the basic 3 endings and the dog ending before moving on to the Maria ending, the UFO ending, and the rebirth ending. None of that is necessarily in an exact order. But rebirth is an ending that only occurs in the director's cut. And it is one of the 4 canonical endings of the game. Because there is no like direct serious canon technically. Let's see. Is there anything else here? I don't think so. There's a ham radio. We don't need to worry about that. I don't think we have... Yeah, we don't have a map. Anyway, once you accomplish 3 endings, or start a new game plus, you can start working on the rebirth ending, which has constraints very similar to the UFO ending from the first game. You have to collect a certain number of items and essentially perform a ritual. Which, as we know in Silent Hill, always leads to good things. Love to perform a ritual. Let's see. Handgun bullets. A whole bunch of pictures on the wall. We don't have to worry about those. And through here. And now we need to jump down the hole. Oh, there's a hole. Oh, there's a hole. There's a hole and it was made for me. Whee! We're going to skip past that and we're going to... Let's see. Right. I need to grab a different weapon. But first, let me look at my dead wife. Yeah, it's pretty great. Anyway, let's grab a pipe. We're going to look for a nice little area that makes a ping noise. Like that. And then we're going to pull out our gun again. Because I cannot stress this enough, we have so many bullets. Oh my god, we could even just use our frickin' shotgun. Holy cow. That is... I love New Game Plus. It's so good. Alright. this it? Yes, this is where we need to go. Listen, I am very tempted to turn it into Doom 2. That would be a lot of fun. Somebody want to write a mod for that? That would be really great. I would love it. Okay, so our battery dies, and we are going to use a new battery. And we're going to get the frick out. But unfortunately, we have to figure out a code. Wow! Oh, that was really nice. We only had to punch in one number. Ooh, a GZ Doom WAD that was... Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm into that. There's also another Doom mod that I really want to play. Oh, can we enjoy this room for a second? Because I love this. You just walk through a door and suddenly everything is wrong. It's really good. It's so good. Door is locked. I think we use the spiral writing key. And once again, and I cannot stress this enough, we must embrace the hole. Anytime we see a hole, we need to crawl right into it. And if there's one bit of advice that I would love to stress upon you all, alongside voting out of spite, is if you see a hole, jump on in, especially if you can't see the end of it. I think, okay, so I think by this point, we have seen Eddie. He is going through it. He's got a gun. He has killed a man, which, you know, is not great. I'm gonna come right out and say Eddie killing a man is not a great move. But we are now in the prison, and we're almost done. Like, we are in the last act of the game, so to speak. Eddie Silent Hill is problematic. Why is no one talking about this? Let's see. I think there's a map right there. God. So, new topic. It's always funny to me to like see people talking about like problematic characters, especially now that Tumblr is becoming back in vogue because Twitter is dying a terrible and painful death. Second door from the cafeteria. Yes, right here. Solace Dreams, a Doom total conversion. Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta get in on that. Tumblr is becoming back in vogue, and this is around the time that we are also dealing with TikTok kind of being the new Tumblr in a lot of ways, which is fine. And that means we are probably going to see yet another resurgence of what a lot of people call Puritan logic. And God, Silent Hill 2 discourse is going to come back, and it's going to be a rough time. New strange permutations on bad faith actors using good ideas in stupid ways. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, if we go to the south one first, we can get some items. I'm going to go ahead and grab that link because I want that. There's another mod called like Too Many Shotguns or something like that that is just Doom but with an absolutely ridiculous amount of custom shotgun reload animations that are absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so we've got that, and now we need to Yeah. Uh, we're going to see a whole bunch of younger people with some very morally absolute views attempting to take Silent Hill 2 apart. And it's not going to be fun for some of us who have been through the gamut, who have played Silent Hill 2 back when it first released. Um, and I just want everybody to just kind of be ready for that because, my God, I love dunking on James. I love dunking on James Sunderland. But at the same time, at the end of our ending, we were able to see that, like, whew, it's going to be an interesting experience seeing people try to figure out how to process this game and how to have the correct opinion on it. I'm not I'm not saying it's going to be fun necessarily, but I can't believe this game wants to feel sorry for James. So I don't know. You're going to see it. It's going to happen. We're all going to feel really old because the fact is some of us, kind of myself included, but I don't think I ever got that bad. Some of us fell into that hole of like, I want to be right. I want to be morally correct. I want to communicate that I have a good head on my shoulders, that I'm one of the good ones, and I don't want to support problematic material. And I don't want people thinking that if I like something, that means I am approving of the content therein. And it's going to happen. And we're not going to have any nuance. And you know what? We're all going to decide to let them do it. You can just at me, Robin. Jeez. Listen, I actually do think it's healthy to do so. Like, I do think it's healthy to throw yourself into that, if only to give yourself the opportunity to, how to put it, send your morality crashing headlong, face first, into a wall. Hey, Claritha. Oh, no. No hole anymore. No. The hole is gone now. Let's see. I believe I have messed up a little bit because I've forgotten which door we need to go in. Might be this one? This one? Nope. I don't think I've picked up the wax doll. I have not picked up the wax doll. Okay. Where is the wax doll? Oh. Yeah, okay. I am not... I am not in the right place. Thank you. I drew it myself. I drew it myself, but it was based on suggestions from the audience. Like, I feel like I should clarify that, like, when I make all these costumes and avatars, they're not done entirely off the dome. A lot of people made some really good suggestions, and I made two of these. One is a more calm state, but yeah, I love this stuff. Let's see. This is where we need to go. Yes, here it is. Hello, Wax Doll. Oh, right, and this place speaks to you. Now we need to turn around. No, we need to keep going. Yes, yes, yes. No matter where you go, there you are. Oh, sure, the fat guy who struggled with bullying and is in a place that brings out one's worst thoughts and feelings is the one who gets violent. Who am I kidding? No one cares about fat characters. God, unfortunately, that's kind of true. Like, it sucks. Like, I think Eddie is a fascinating character, and if we had better context, like, in a vacuum, I think his story is really interesting. Somebody who has suffered terribly, who keeps getting pushed and pulled in every direction, and is expected to just deal with it. Just getting pushed too far and doing something terrible. Like, that's an interesting and fun story that fits really well within the construct of Silent Hill. Tablet of the Oppressor. There we go. Ah, dang it. Okay. Let's see. Anything else we can see in here? Just to kind of pass the time as we... Okay, we're good. Yeah, this particular puzzle is the wax doll puzzle, and you know it. it's it's very silly, and let's see, we need to go to the courtyard. And it's one of those puzzles that I think kind of works. It just really needed a little bit more zhuzhing in the right direction, you know? What's really interesting about this dungeon is that you have to do a lot of exploring in order to really understand what it is you're supposed to do. Gonna have to turn in early tonight. Hey, well, thanks for coming along, Judge. Good to see you. Let's see. So the good thing here is that we don't actually need to worry about the placement order. We can just combine, combine, loop. Yeah, so the complete context of this puzzle is essentially the solution to the entire dungeon, right? Um, in typical level design, you have what most horror games utilize, which is uh, door and key logic. Door and key logic is... It's not misleading, but you would be forgiven for assuming that it is strictly finding a key. Door and key logic essentially means you have a problem and a solution. And sometimes you have to figure out whether you are finding the problem or the solution first. In this particular case, you wind up not even necessarily seeing the solution or the problem until much further in. You get these tablets for the oppressor, the gluttonous pig, and the seductress, but you don't get any idea of what they're supposed to do together. The tablets are MacGuffins. They are just there to get you to one of the keys to this door. The door being a literal one in this sense. A hatch on the west side of this dungeon. So the interesting problem that they got here is that the only way to exit this place is to understand both what the problem and the solution is, neither of which is incredibly clear. Because you can actually walk completely over this and not notice it. Which is kind of wild. I don't sit there and say, oh, this is good design, this is bad design. I know that there are ways of talking about that that are, like, solid, but these three items are the only three unique items that you get that aren't related to the tablets in this particular area. You don't get keys, you don't get, you get a map, but you don't get anything else. You just get a horseshoe, a lighter, and a wax doll. On top of course, the three tablets that only go to one thing, much like this. So I can understand why they thought, oh, if you get these three items and plug them in here, you will intuit that the other three items you get in this dungeon must go to the only other thing that looks like it is a door with a keyhole. So you do this, you melt the doll, you put the horseshoe in, The wax solidifies, and it turns into a handle. It is such a weird puzzle. And the fact that you don't even necessarily see this hatch as an opening, as a door, is a big part of the reason why this dungeon is so fussy. I'm not a huge fan of it. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? It got us there. It's fine. Let's see. Now, did I get... I didn't get the hunting rifle, right? I did get the hunting rifle. Okay, we're good. We don't have to worry about anything. It wasn't clear as to why you couldn't lift it with anything but a handle. Yeah, and they don't give you a handle. They just give you a horseshoe. That isn't obvious where it is until you decide to get frustrated and walk out of the courtyard. It's really interesting. I don't know how much I care for it, but at the same time, it's like I appreciate the audacity. Anyway, here's a hole. Embrace the hole. We're gonna run, and we are going to, oop, yep, drop down into the hole. We're not going to see any unique content this run up until, like, the very end, which is, ooh, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Huh? What you got there? Good for you. Okay. So now we're going to go down a minute-long elevator ride. Anything else? Oh, I see your head. All right. So, how's everybody doing? What has everybody been playing? I've been playing The Gunk, which is a game from Image and Form Games and Thunderful. They have now since merged. But Image and Form is the developer behind the SteamWorld games, and The Gunk is really good. Best way I can describe it is one of the best GameCube games never to release for the GameCube. Game where you go around and suck up gunk and restore an alien world to its former beauty while also trying to uncover where the gunk came from in the first place. It's got great writing, it's got great character design, its visuals are gorgeous. It's also only about 4 to 5 hours long, which is, hey, great. And it's a little gay. I love that. Mostly play Magic the Gathering and watching Twitch. I have a lot of friends who play Magic. I think I might have enough friends and acquaintances who play Magic that maybe I should just get into it finally. I tried it once when it first released, and I was 7, and it didn't work out. Let's see. Hey, well, we're going to be playing scary stuff for a while, thankfully, so. Hey. Let's see. So, excuse me while I reorient myself. So we're going to go left, and then another left. Hi. You know what? We don't need to fight you. You're fine. You're just minding your business. Magic is very popular for trans women. Ask me how I know. And it'll put you down a path. I mean, that and speedrunning, right? And I'm working on becoming a speedrunner. Not really, but it's going to happen. Yeah, Playdate. I'm still waiting for mine to be delivered. I'm just kind of sitting here, like, waiting for it. Like, it's got to come eventually. Yeah, I want to play Ryan's game. I want to play all of them. There are some that just look so cool. Ugh. Okay. I just want to mention once again, this is one of my favorite areas because as long as you have the flashlight on, James will keep drawing the map. It's pretty great. Okay, so we're going to go back where we started. Or, better yet, let's see. How did we get there? Goodbye. Binders for trans men. Chest compression versus binders for trans women. Trading card games. Oh, that wasn't it. Okay. We need to go down the second right. Right? Correct. I will say, like, as someone who identifies as trans, in a kind of complicated way where it's like, I don't call myself a trans woman necessarily, I call myself a non-binary trans femme, which is kind of like... No, there's a bad joke there that I'm not going to repeat, because I don't want anyone repeating it, but it's nevertheless kind of a truism for me where it's like, I'm kind of like a trans woman, in that I do all the things trans women do, except I don't wear a skirt. Often. Well, it's not naughty humor. It's unfortunately just like, okay, I'll just go ahead and say the joke, which is, I call myself trans woman light, which is not, there's already a stereotype about that sort of thing, where it's like non-binary is just woman light. It's like, no, that's not the case. And it's also kind of funny because if you fit that slot where you're like, I really don't like gender, like I kind of just hate it. I hate the rules that are currently in place for gender, and I don't think I'm ever going to like it. And so I call myself that because it's a little funny. Oh, I've never actually seen her move around. It's one of those jokes that we can make about ourselves, kind of, but like people who aren't in that circle really shouldn't. You know what I mean? Gender is a social construct, and you're allowed to be wherever you want on the spectrum of things. Actually reminds me of a meme I saw earlier today, or yesterday, where somebody was like, if you're a man drinking lemonade, it's like, you're not really a man. And the guy was like, you know what? I'm non-binary now. I'm sick of this shit. And that was his actual announcement that he was coming out as non-binary, because he just kept seeing this shit and was like, you know what? I'm done. This is stupid. The rules don't make any sense, and therefore I am abandoning the rules. And I felt that so unbearably hard. Gatekeeping drinking lemonade. Yeah, it's... Gender essentialists are the wildest people. And I would love to make more jokes about gender, about non-binary people, about trans women and trans men in the sort of like, obviously I love them sort of way, where we all have stereotypes about ourselves, but people who are really into gender as a thing that must be a specific way are the most exhausting people in the world. It sucks. It genuinely just sucks. And if you're somebody who's like, you know what? I like the rules where they are for me. I like sitting in that space because it works for me, and I don't pay any mind to the weird rules that people come up with that, like, tell me I'm not that because I know what I am. Yes, that's incredibly valid, and I want more people to be like that. And also, when I start seeing those rules, I start getting more and more into the camp of, if you identify that way because you're fine with the rules, cool. I'm really tired of the rules. Anyways, trans people, thank you for being baller as hell. Imagine being like that and not enjoying lemonade. Drink whatever I want. Like, it's... Maybe lemonade is the gender fluid. Maybe. That's the gender fluid people keep talking about. Which case, I need to get... Oh my god. Unfortunately, now I really want some lemonade. I don't think we have any. I think the closest we have is apple juice, and that's not gender fluid. Is pink lemonade the most gender fluid? Why am I asking these questions? You think vampires don't drink pink lemonade? The young adult kid novel was actually an allegory for goth transness. I'm just gonna keep talking until I land on some solid gold. I think that's how streaming works. Okay. So, I hate this area because it's really hard to tell where I'm going. This is solid gold. Thank you. Oh, hey, bud. Okay, I'm just gonna walk past you. Is this where I have been? No. Dang it, my sis was talking about wanting lemonade the last few days. Now I want lemonade. Everybody should drink the lemonade. It's actually pretty... It's... All the dudes who just want to say that them being miserable is the only way to be a man because they can't just say, I'm scared, someone help me figure my shit out. God! Toxic masculinity! I give you gender solid snake and you say nuka. No, I'm coming back. Don't worry. I am working my way down the list. Gender solid snake is going to be acknowledged. Gender liquid snake, gender solid snake, gender fluid snake. Oh my god. Okay. Someone buy the rights from Kojima, or from Konami. Give Kojima Metal Gear Solid again. But this time, let him finally make the fourth genderqueer brother. We need it. Like, everything is right there. I have gotten so distracted that I have no idea where I am, and I don't care, because now I'm sitting here thinking, what if there was a genderqueer snake? We have the technology. Wait. We should just do that. Independent development has gone on to make all the games that... Oh. That's a pyramid head. I don't want to fight him. Oh, I am circling around. Where am I? Okay, so there is a Big Daddy. Ow. Indie development has gone on to make games that we all deserve, that are literally just what if X but queer, or what if Y but good. We could do it. We could make Metal Gear Solid. And there it is. There's the punchline. We did it. We got there. We passed the finish line. We drank the gender fluid and we came up with Metal Gear Solid. There's nowhere to go. We've done it. Okay, so I really like that people and things can just be gay, LGBTQ+, without it being the main plot. Metal queer. Okay, so this is called the Abstract Daddy. This is a manifestation of Angela's fear of an abusive father, and we're going to blow him the hell up with a shotgun. The door monster is also fair. So we're gonna just look around, see if there's anything new. And I don't think there is, so we're just gonna head out. Because we're good. Okay, let's see. We've got our 6 dudes. Let's see. Arson. Um, come on. Crime of bodily injury. Okay. Hung for the crime of counterfeiting. Swindling. So we need to figure out which of these, theory, is innocent. We do that by heading on over to the other room. We're going to find a whole bunch of nooses, and we're going to read the story. Now, as I mentioned, every difficulty, for the most part, has different riddles and solutions. A gender to surpass metal queer. Snake, do you like Japanese anime? There's a whole lot of genderqueer things in it. He committed an evil crime. He turned a happy home into a pile of ash. For that, he should die. They also committed crimes. They tried to fraud and trick others. So their reward, too, is natural. Hey, we got some non-binary rep. Even he cannot be forgiven, my friend without his left hand, and so his death bothers me not. And what of him? He is also not sinless. There is only one here who is innocent. The missing child was nowhere to be found, and so there was no proof of his guilt. His death was a tragedy. Well, sounds like the kidnapper is the innocent one. This is all I wish to say. It was neither justice nor retribution. And I believe this is the kidnapping one. So we're going to give it a little tug. Otacon. What's Ranma 1/2? Oh, Ranma 1/2 by Rumiko Takahashi. Well, you see, Snake, whenever Ranma would be exposed to water, he would change gender. What? Change gender? Explain. Well, you see, normally he has a male body, but under the exposure of water, he turns into a girl. And everybody knows that he looks like a girl. He has all the parts and everything. It's actually a great comedy, Snake. You should check it out. I might just do that. How many episodes? Oh, like at least 100. No, I'm not doing that. You tried to get me into One Piece. I'm still working my way through that shit. Snake, you don't have to watch the filler. Snake, I'm telling you, you don't have to watch the filler. Otacon. I'm serious, Snake. Now, sometimes the filler can be pretty supplemental material. Now, I'll stand for the Dragon Ball content, the filler for that, because, I mean, Snake, who doesn't want to see Piccolo learning how to drive? But you can't always expose yourself to filler, especially when the narrative content is just waiting to be absorbed. Get your point, but frankly, I don't have a lot of time. Got all these dogs. Read the manga, Snake. There's no filler. It's all killer, no filler, Snake. Oh boy. That shit is just in my head. I can't. Otacon, next you're going to tell me I can stop watching Bleach after the Soul Society arc. Snake, I really have to tell you, I can't talk about Bleach anymore. It's hurt me too much. There's a story behind there. Okay, so, Snake, let's talk about the Heartless. Oh god, here we go again. So, you see, it's not just the Heartless, but we also have to account for the Nobody. What? Well, you see, the Nobody is a body without the heart. But you just called it a Nobody. I know. It gets more interesting, however, because sometimes a Nobody can grow a heart. What? It can grow a heart of its own and assume its own identity. A case in point, we can look at Roxas, Shion, and numerous others like Axel. Wait, who's Shion? Oh, well, you would think that's actually a manifestation of Kairi, but actually, it's more the memory of Kairi within Sora that is also in the heart of Ventus. Now, I haven't gotten into Ventus, so in Birth by Sleep, Otacon, please, shut the fuck up. Colonel, I'm dummy sick and the clap in my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards. Can I get a look at that? Sorry, like, I have played too much Metal Gear Solid and I have practiced those voices. They're not perfect, but I'm there. I'm in the ballpark. I can play. I one of my weird hidden talents is impressions, and it's not. Oh god, did I get completely? I got completely turned around, didn't I? Ooh. I got completely turned around doing Otacon voices. What is Sora in Metal Gear World? Oh my god. I'm having a lot of trouble with all of that. Oh right, we have to go through here. Duh. Okay. Well, we're almost there. We've got about 30 minutes left in the stream, a little more. We can do this. Nomura style snake. Actually, I do wonder because, okay, Tetsuya Nomura has done designs for DC, and I'm gonna come out on record as saying it kind of slept. But I think Tetsuya Nomura should absolutely do that for every franchise he can get his hands on, in the same way that Todd McFarlane did. Because Todd McFarlane did Metal Gear, why not Tetsuya Nomura? Give us the Tetsuya Nomura Metal Gear Solid 2 action figure. No. Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2. That Snake. Or the Portable Ops one with the thigh highs. Ooh, that would also be good. That's when we get real dummy thick. Oh, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you very much, Halef. Ooh. Okay, and then we got Eddie. Vamping Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I think that one is actually my favorite. I love that idea. Okay, so we're going to boop. Bonk. Bonk. Come on. Bonk. Bonk. Come on. Bonk. Bonk. El Bonko. God, I actually, okay. There are a lot of times where I kind of really hope that Kingdom Hearts starts. If there is one benefit to Disney owning everything, it is that eventually Disney may end up owning Konami, and then we are going to get Kingdom Hearts with Metal Gear. And I have to have that. I need it. If we are going to have to go through a hell where everything is owned by one company, let it let that be the result. Please. I beg of you. If there is justice in the world, then if we have to suffer terrible monopolies of all the things, there we go. Then at least give us that. It is if the late stage capitalism of the world forces us
Eddie?
into a terrible state where we must necessarily suffer one company owning everything, the least anyone could offer us is Metal Gear and Kingdom Hearts. Hey, thank you very much for coming along, Clarissa. It is lovely meeting you, and I hope to see you again. Okay, so we are now at Toluca Lake, and we are, um, I think we can do it. I think we can actually hit this last ending, or last ending, no, our second ending. Hey, no problem. And if y'all want a clip, and share it around, it helps me, it helps the channel, and also it's hilarious, and more people can find out about the weird hidden talent for impressions that I have with weirdly specific characters. Okay, now first we need to start rotating around. There we go. I think that's the other skill that a lot of trans girls end up having, is that they have certain impressions that they can pull off that are just hilarious seeing coming out of them. I still know this one TikToker who has one of the greatest J.K. Simmons impressions I've ever heard. And that is a voice to come out of a trans woman. It's great. I love it. I genuinely love it. It's one of my favorite things about everyone kind of embracing being trans openly. Because there is not much that is funnier than a trans woman confidently belting out a J.K. Simmons impression and nailing it. Okay, so now that we are at the hotel, we've got to pick up this Little Mermaid box, and we need to head right on in. We're going to switch over to the pistol, the handgun, pistol. We're not British. Okay. We can pick up a map right away, but this map is going to be overwritten later. Waiting for you. And we're going to start by going to the restaurant where we're going to meet Laura. Once again. Why are we going to meet Laura? Don't worry about it. If you followed us along so far, you would know. And if you haven't, hey, guess what? VODs are available for 60 days after initial airing. Let's see. I think Laura is going to be right. Yep. She scares us. We head out. We get Laura's letter, and then we go to the center stairs to the basement. And we are now fighting more abstract daddies, which are now a regular enemy. It's one of two enemies that are, oh, hey, that start out as bosses in this game that become regular enemies, and maybe that's not accurate because the Pyramid Head Executioner isn't really seen until much later. 60 days, how convenient. I'll let everyone in my desirable demographic know about all those days after streaming, anyone can watch for free. Ooh, gosh. One day this cough will end, and I'm going to be so happy. It's one of the most annoying coughs in the world because my throat isn't sore. It's not it's not scratchy or raspy. It's just got this spot. And as long as I don't like push it too much, it's not going to hurt, but oh my god, it is so annoying. The cough got bad enough yesterday that I nearly passed out. It was one of those coughs that like just comes from the lungs and makes you feel like your lungs are about to pop out of you. It's not great, I will admit. Okay, so we're gonna head upstairs because we're not gonna bother with those guys. Now I figure while I'm working on this, I can also do one of the typical spiels. Like, yeah, we have oh, we need to go to the cloakroom, which is right there. So we do have VODs, which are free, and they're going to stay free. I'm never going to cut them out or hide them behind subscriptions. What you do get for subscribing, uh, apart from also contributing to sub goals that I'm going to try and keep updating as often as I can, um, and I'll explain more about that later, is that you get emotes. There are also follower exclusive emotes on top of subscriber exclusive emotes, and there's a lot of them. Again, much like the avatars that we've been using, they have largely been chatter suggestions, which is a lot of fun. They've been like a hoot to make. And okay, so we've got key to room 204, so we're gonna go there. I think, yeah, more abstract daddies. So maybe we don't have to fight this one. Where your whole face feels like it's going to pop, or is that just me having high blood pressure at the moment? Yeah, it's a lot like that. Um, it's really annoying. Those are the worst coughs for me because you're not even necessarily trying to get anything out of you, but something still feels like it's coming out of you. Very frustrating. Yeah. The Hi Debbie emote was partially designed by Lark, mostly designed by Lark, if I'm being honest. Um, and I think the Angelus one is actually a send up of the Angelus portrait from Drakengard 1. But everything else was designed by me by way of crowd suggestions. We actually sat and had a day where we just hammed it out, hatched it out. It was a lot of fun. Dark. Okay, so let's input dark. And we got our second of 3 music boxes. We're going to exit from here, which is not 204 where we entered. We're going to go to the lobby balcony and then keep moving. I'm not actually going to hang out in the lobby yet, because we still need that last music box before we can move on to the final area, the Nightmare Hotel. Oh, the camera's going to get a little swimmy here. Push the button, nothing happens. Got the rifle shells, okay. We're going to go into here. Nope, we are not. Once again. Come on. Okay, I have clearly forgotten the correct path, which is fine. Oh, wait. I have to actually use the key. Shoot. Why do I always do that? I always forget that keys have to be used. Did I actually get the key? Oh my goodness. This is what happens. Yeah, I think we missed an item way back in room 202. So let's go do that. A little bit time wasty, but it's fine. We'll probably go a little over time today, which, you know what, fair. Um, oh, right. While we're working on this, I beat a game recently, A Plague Tale Innocence, and I gotta tell you, it's fantastic, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the sequel. Plague Tale Innocence is very much like a kind of Last of Us send up, so you kind of have an idea of how it plays by that description. Um, but to say it is strictly Left 4 Dead or Last of Us is not accurate. Still, though, if you haven't given it a chance, I would strongly recommend it. It's a great game. Um, it is a very French game. I thought I got that. Oh, that is annoying. I even looked at it, tried to hit it, and I guess I got something else. Okay. Well, now that we've got that, we can move on. Um, but yeah, it's a game about a plague of rats. And the game itself is kind of a survival horror in a sense. It's not true horror. It's just a lot of atmosphere, a lot of like dark and gritty storytelling elements. But for the most part, up until the last couple of chapters, it is just one of the most tightly assembled games of its genre. It's got some great character writing, some great character building, some really solid mechanics that work incredibly well. It's just a lot of fun, and like I'm still thinking about it after having like after having played it in full. Okay, so we've got a small issue here where we are not allowed weight allowance, one person. We are not allowed to actually descend the elevator until we put everything on the shelf. As dicey as this might feel, it's mostly fine. We're not actually going to be dealing with much. We will be doing a lot of scooting and a lot of moving and not really getting involved with anything that could hurt us. And we're going to get a new map that is going to be a lot more helpful. Sometimes you just gotta scoot and move. It's true. Gonna wait. Okay. So now we have the hotel map for employees, which fills in a lot of the data that we otherwise wouldn't see. Some of these areas are blacked out or otherwise just not spelled out for us. We're not going to worry about that anymore. Because now we have all the detail we need. Um, let's see. Now we're going to head to the right or the left, one of the two. Ah, this one. We need to head to the red light. And we need to gather our last music box. So now that we have that, we need to technically make our way back to where we were. But we're not going to explicitly do that yet. Instead, we're going to try and head to, I think, the office? So let's scoot on past here, and I believe the office is right on our left. Left on our right. Up on our down, down on our up. Shifty on our swifty. Now there is a videotape that Mary mentions that she has left for us to watch, which is a plot load-bearing videotape. Tells us everything we need to know. Now we're going to head into the blue door. Head downstairs. Okay. That's not where we need to be. That's not where we need to be. And I believe this is the boiler room. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now we have the bar key. Now, of course, because of the way the elevator works, we would not be able to actually go back up it the normal way. We have to just deal with the fact that it is not accessible to us, which kind of sucks. So what we have to do instead is find a way back through everything so that we can reach the employees' lounge in the office. Ooh. Right, there's a big can. So we're going to use a can opener. Boop. And now we have a light bulb. With that, we can head into the bar proper and move our way around. God, and I remember stopping at, not long after this, the time before last. But I do want to just, like, power through and get that ending. Let's see, where are we exactly? If you don't have homemade light bulbs, canned is fine. Okay, so I want to check the map real quick, make sure I know where we are, because this elevator... Yeah, maybe this will work. Now, you know what? We got the stairs right here. Let's do that. Hello, dead guy. So we're going to head up. Okay, yeah, so we're going to head up to the west through that stairwell, back through, and hit the employee area. That'll be nice and simple. Ooh. Hate that cough. Anyway. Power through here. Pop through here. God, I just... Oh, hey, mannequins. Hey, buds. We don't have to worry about them too much. And now we can just walk up to the shelf and get all our stuff. I'm still kind of amazed that anyone made an asset that is just a can filled with light bulbs. It's hilarious and great and also really strange. Okay, so now we can head to the lobby. Literally from here, like this is like solid movement. And we are going to read everything out. When the lost one is returned, the sour note shall turn sweet. Yeah, so here's a fun fact about this puzzle in this particular game, or in this particular difficulty. There is no solution. You just plug them in randomly. You can do whatever you want. On every higher difficulty, it gets a little bit more complex, with the last one having a completely different means of solving this puzzle. You still plug stuff in to this giant music box, but it's a little bit different, and it's kind of funny. And now we have a song that slaps. Dang if the bizarreness of it doesn't make the game feel that much more. I love the jankiness of it. I love how weird it is. I love that I cannot process why that exists the way it does. It just does, and I have to accept that. And I know that's like... I know that like lol random kind of stuff is not necessarily the best way to go, but when it comes to horror, sometimes that just feels right. Okay, so now we have the key to room 312, and we have the hotel stairway key, which means we can now just go straight to room 312. We're gonna head to the right. It's like there's a strangeness that I wish it were something I could legitimately define. Because the quality of that kind of here's something that doesn't make sense, here's something that is close to but not quite right. This disjointed way of interpreting reality to tell you that, like, yeah, things are kind of weird here. When done well, it creates this really interesting experience in horror, because you don't really have time to piece it together, because you're so busy dealing with the fact that, like, oh yeah, there's so much weird shit going on, and we keep finding things that just brush up against reality in such an interesting way. So we're going to skip all this. We have watched the video. We are now at the point where James is very sad because he is now dealing with the fact that he killed his wife. In no uncertain terms, he has accepted the fact that he is a murderer. And no matter how he interprets that, it's just the case. So, now we are going to head to the second floor, and we're going to see if we can just barrel past all of this. They need to replace light bulbs. Where do they keep them? Where do they keep most things? Cans, I guess. I mean, why else would you have a can opener, you know? We need to head to room 202. And now for, like, legitimately one of my favorite tracks in the game, because it is just deeply unsettling. Like, the sound font for this just hits right. There's just something about it that is, like, perfectly melodic and also completely disjointed, and it feels really good. It just does it right for me. Okay. So now we need to head to the elevator, because we are... like, the game is basically telling us where to go by this point. Oh, we got an ample? We have an ample amount of amples. It's just this weird droning sound that nevertheless hits a melodic tone. Yamaoka like had a lot of thoughts about sound design when it came to this game that is always really interesting, and I'm excited to hear what he puts out for Silent Hill 2's remake since he's working on that as well. Because he just thinks about sound in a way that not a lot of composers do. He's very good at making something that just feels wrong. And he does it in such like a genuinely beautiful way, and he hires really interesting people to like contribute to that sound. It's just really good. Okay, so we have found so many healing items and so many bullets. We got rifle shells. We're going to equip the rifle. I really got to sit here and remember where these things are in my inventory. Dissonant without actually being unpleasant in a painful way. Just unpleasant in an unpleasant way. Yeah, honestly. Like, you're not wrong. That is pretty much what it is. And that's like that's a very difficult skill, because if you're trying to make something unpleasant in a way that like feels purposeful, it's kind of like it's very hard to make bad art on purpose. Especially if that bad art is meant to make a point and become good art. When you make bad art, or you make something that feels painful or disjointed or weird in a way that works. Because I think when you mess with expectations, when you mess with typical taste, when you're trying to make something that isn't pleasant on purpose, it is very easy to make something unpleasant in a bad way when you're trying to make something unpleasant in a good way. It is a skill, and you have to go in with the thought in your head that that is exactly what you are going to do. I helped direct a small college game that was... I knew I didn't have a lot of like genuine artists on the team. I had a lot of really talented modelers, programmers, and a whole bunch of people who were okay at art, but they weren't there for that. And I had to sit there and go, what can I do with this? And so we made one of the ugliest games that program ever experienced on purpose. It was entirely made of blue screen art, glitch art, bad clip art that we handcrafted, using people who were trying to imitate clip art, who themselves were not exceptional artists. And I don't say this as an insult. They did it incredibly well, and I really want to remake that experience in some way. I don't think I could ever do it as well as they did, but oh, if only. So Maria dies. Don't worry about it. I always liken it to Frankenstein. Try to make a man. If you fail, you make a monster. So if you try to make a god, so you try to make a god. Because that way, if you fail, you probably just make a person. That's...
Needed someone to punish
There's
me
something
for my
very
sins.
philosophical and good about that.
But that's all over now. I know the truth. Now it's time to end this.
That is such a hammy delivery, and it's the one time in the game where I'm kind of like, you may have needed to take a second stab at that one. So we're gonna back up, get our shots in, haul ass. Oh, are we not having to reload right now? That would be great. Oh, there we go. Okay, they're done. It's a good game. Then they're gone. They're dead. They're over. It's over. 1 egg. 2 egg. And we're going to plug these into the doors as we move on to the finale. And if we're lucky, I will have done everything I need to do. Those are some bad eggs. They are load-bearing eggs. Let's see. Let's pop on through. And now we should be able to just haul ass. We are also going to do one thing we did not do the last time that we are definitely going to do on purpose here.
Mary?
We're going
What
to
do you
listen.
want, James?
I brought you some flowers.
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Mary, what are you saying?
Look, I'm disgusting. I don't deserve flowers. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here! Leave me alone already! I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It'd be easier if they'd just kill me. But I guess the hospital is making a nice profit off me. They want to keep me alive. Are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf? Don't come back. James, wait. Please don't go. Stay with me. Don't leave me alone. I didn't mean what I said. Please, James. Tell me I'll be okay. Tell me I'm not going to die. Help me.
Now, if she doesn't have anything else to say, we can move on. Now, we listened to that. We looked at the knife, and we paid attention to the photograph that we have. We bumped into Maria and refused to check up on her. We did all of that so that if we are lucky, we are going to get the second ending. We're lucky and we did our due diligence. We're going to get the second ending. So let's head on up. The reason why we do all that is because we need James to be stuck in his own head. We need James to wallow in that guilt. He's seen the video. He's seen suicide as an option. He cannot get his mind off of Mary. He cannot get his mind off of the guilt he feels for what he's done and why it was done.
Mary?
Wrong again. Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? Maria, I'm done with you.
What do you mean? But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted.
Now I understand. The problem is, you're not Mary.
No, James. I won't let you. I'll never let you have your Mary back.
Okay, now I don't know if we've gotten the in-water ending like I want, but we're gonna hope that's the case. If we don't, ugh, then we'll just have to go super fast next time. Oops, that's not what I want. So we're just gonna stay firing. The lines were not the same? Oh, that's a good sign.
James. James.
And down.
Mary?
James.
It's all good. We're almost done. Even if this ends up being the wrong ending, which I hope not.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not the whole truth. You also said that you didn't want to die. The truth is, part of me hated you for taking away my life.
You killed me, and you're suffering for it. It's enough, James.
Yep, this is the ending.
Mary?
James.
Now I understand the real reason I came to this town. I wonder, what was I afraid of? Without you, Mary, I've got nothing.
Yep.
Now we can be together.
So he ends his own
In my
life.
restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean.
This is still
Even
just like
so,
one of the best deliveries in the whole game.
I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James.
That letter feels a little bit more bittersweet with the in-water ending, doesn't it? Especially with the blackout there.
James, you made me happy.
That blackout is unique to that version of the read. The letter is the same. They just provide a different context that is, I think, really impactful. Anyway, I really like that. It's very sad, very tragic, but like, God. I love that they made it an option. I love the way that they chose to execute it. Like, there is this like the end of it feels a lot more antagonizing, a lot more conflicting. Because even the conversation with Mary on her deathbed takes on a very different turn where she's dying and still trying to get James to give himself a break and pushing, tell him to let go. Now, there's actually one little bit of trivia that I'm going to try to point out as we play in our next playthrough, because there's an additional element to the narrative that is really easy to miss. Like, genuinely, if you don't know it's there, you'll probably miss it. And it involves Mary's letter. Now, there are people who have played this and might already know this, but I would say even some Silent Hill fans don't really know, like, or don't recall it happening. But it's really neat. So, if anyone wants to help me remember this for next time, tell me to check Mary's letter. Because I want to remember this. I want to be able to point this out, because it's really cool. But I'm going to forget. Anyway, as we wind down, I've already done my whole spiel. VODs, available 60 days after initial airing. Subscriber and follower exclusive emotes. We are working towards a sub goal of 40 points by the time we are done with Silent Hill 3. As far as I'm aware, we should be able to get through a lot of streaming without any hang-ups. Because, again, I've been sick. As long as it doesn't get worse, should be good. Because this is kind of what I'm doing right now. Not doing a heck of a lot of drawing, because that takes a little bit more out of me. Which is fine. I'm going to be thankful for the break so I can focus on this and focus on drawing in my own time, relaxing, recovering, and getting excited for more Silent Hill. So yeah, as the producer credits sign off, I want to thank everybody for coming. We actually got through our second ending, which, hey, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? 2. Not 24. Not 24. Not 24. There are not 24 endings in this game. Oh my god, I would die. Anyway. I've been Robin at Andrew Jack without a C and will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. You will be back tomorrow, where we are going to start on the Maria ending. We had a total time of 2 hours and 27 minutes, and we can absolutely bring that further down, which I'm really excited about. That ending clear says 2 out of 4. We got way more than that. We'll be working on the Maria ending, and then we're moving on to the dog ending, the Born from a Wish ending, the Rebirth ending, and we are going to finish everything off with the UFO ending. That is what I'm thinking the progress is going to be. That might change, but for the most part, that's how it's going to be. So, I want to thank you all again for coming. I want y'all to get hydrated, get vaccinated, get masked up, be good, be safe, be awesome, and be gone. Bye, everybody. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.